and potentially explosive chapter in Afghanistan's political turmoil is unfolding. The Taliban is facing a growing internal revolt over its harsh restrictions on women's rights, a conflict that has now spilled into the public. Senior figures within the group are defying Mullah Akhundzada, the supreme leader, and his hardline policies. The rising rebellion could threaten the very foundation of Taliban rule in Afghanistan. For years, Akhundzada has held the reins of power in Afghanistan, but now his leadership is under siege. Senior Taliban ministers, including Sirajuddin Haqqani, Mullah Yaqoob, and Sher Mohammad Abbas Stanikzai, are pushing back against the ban on girls' education and the increasing restrictions on women's economic participation. Akhundzada has led the Taliban since 2016 and has been the driving force behind the hardline policies of the regime. His rule, tightened after the US withdrawal in 2021, is now in jeopardy, with key officials openly opposing his decree. The internal rift became public when Stanikzai, the deputy foreign minister, voiced his opposition to the regime's treatment of women. He was particularly vocal about the ban on female education and the Taliban's interpretation of Islamic law, claiming that the restrictions were not only un-Islamic but also unjust. As a result of his outspoken criticism, Stanikzai was issued an arrest warrant by Akhundzada's regime. Fearing for his life, he fled to Dubai. But Stanikzai is not alone in his dissent. Both Sirajuddin Haqqani, the interior minister, and Mullah Yaqoob, the defense minister, have echoed his concerns, creating a growing faction within the Taliban that believes the group must adopt a more progressive stance on women's rights. Despite the Taliban's public claims of unity, it is becoming increasingly clear that the divide is deepening. This could be the beginning of a full-blown internal conflict. A divided Taliban risks losing its grip on Afghanistan, and its ability to govern effectively will be severely undermined. On the ground, many Afghans are growing frustrated with the Taliban's policies. Women continue to face oppression, barred from education, employment, and basic freedoms. The economic crisis worsens, with millions of Afghans living in poverty. Despite the Taliban's promises of peace and stability, their rule has led to widespread suffering and a collapse of basic human rights. As Afghanistan grapples with these crises, many are hoping for a change in leadership. With the Taliban divided, the question remains: will the internal rift lead to a full-blown conflict? Or will it pave the way for a new direction in Afghanistan's future? For now, the future of Afghanistan remains uncertain. The cracks within the Taliban leadership are widening, and the country's political landscape is on the brink of change. Bureau Report, India Today Global.